Good morning, y'all. It's Sunday morning. It is May 28th, and it's 66 degrees out here, which is really incredible. Kind of surprised. I expected it to be hotter, but it's going to be a really gorgeous day. I think the high is only going to be like 80, which is very surprising also. But I'm very thankful for it. So my name's Rachel, and I'm gardening for butterflies and for myself on the Alabama Gulf Coast in Zone 9A. And I'm gardening mostly in containers, although I have recently planted some stuff in the ground. But I mostly grow in containers because I have armadillos here, and a bunch of them, and they dig things up. But hopefully I have thwarted them with some bigger plants. We'll see. But today I was going to show y'all around the garden, and also I was going to show you that I planted out some more dahlias, and I have a bunch of caterpillars, different kinds. I have monarchs, and I even have giant swallowtail caterpillars, and I have eastern black swallowtail caterpillars that I'm going to show y'all, and I'm going to talk about an app that I found that's really awesome too. So come along with me. I'm kind of concerned for my lavender because actually they both looked really good the other day, and now this Goodwin Creek one is looking a little frizzled. I don't know if maybe it got too much water, or I don't know. My other one has a lot of buds on it, but it's looking kind of brown at the bottom, so we'll just see. I don't know what to say about that, but I do have something super special that I did not know if it was going to occur or not because it's kind of late in the season. So you know how I had those three Texas bluebonnet plants? Well, I potted them up, and look, I have actual blooms on one of them, and aren't they just the cutest little things? And you can see why they call them bluebonnets, because look at the flowers. It looks like Little House on the Prairie hats. Is that not just so sweet? So I am really thankful for that. I think these are annuals, so this is about all I'm going to get out of these plants this year. But I'm definitely going to plant them in the fall, because that's when you're supposed to plant them. They've got hard seed coats. This front is just exploding. It's gotten super huge. Oh, but I did want to talk about these globe basil, because here's something weird about them. Okay, I grew these from seed and from all the same seed packet. Now, doesn't this is just one plant. Look at the different leaf kind of shapes on it. Got some small ones, got some big ones. It looks like there's like 3 or 4 different plants in there, but that's just one. And then this one flowered early, and it looks all the same. So that's a kind of interesting variegation, I guess, with the plants. And then you have to be careful, because if it rains really hard, this could happen, and it doesn't really recover. It just gets kind of smashed in. But I am still really loving the dahlias, and they have just been performing. I'm super impressed with them. So I'm really glad that I did end up getting those dahlias, and I planted them out, and I'm going to show y'all how I did it. But I'm just going to take you through a little quick, if I can get through here, walk through the garden. Just look at this cleome. Look how massive it is, and so many blooms. I am going to have to, you can see the agastache is kind of getting played out. So I'm going to also be saving seed, and I'm just going to show you right here how I do it. And then I'll probably plant these in the ground, because they are perennials, but if you have to cut them back, they just don't look good anymore. So what I do when I save seeds is I just look for like the biggest flower stalks, and I just save those, and I lay them out flat on trays, and I save a bunch of them because I like to throw them all over the yard. And I just let them dry in a cool, dry place, shady place. Like I put them under the potting bench in the potting shed on like the kind of north wall, and I just let them stay there until I'm ready to plant them out, which I usually toss them out in the fall because they can grow through the winter if they don't get dug up by anything. And see, this one I planted in the ground, and it is looking really good, but it's still ratty. I mean, you can see the flowers are still ratty. So this is one that I would cut off and save. Just the biggest, best ones. I still haven't planted out those salvia in the pots yet back there. I just haven't had time, but I hope I will have some time this week since, you know, we've got Memorial Day. And this is something neat. This is that mountain mint. It's got the cutest little flowers on it. They're tiny flowers. Do you see that? But don't you love the gray leaves at the top? That's just really fun. I do still have some hummingbirds, but they're just not as active as they were. This is the view from the guest bedroom window. I keep forgetting to come out here and scrub off the top of the fountain, so it's not as lovely as I would like for it to be. This is the view from the kitchen window, which does make me extremely happy, especially when little birdies are out here getting food. They are just the cutest. And wanted to show you the passion flower vine has gotten to the roof, and whenever it does that, I have to get up there and trim it back. But look at these dahlias. Look how tall. I think these are those. You know what? This might be something that I haven't even seen bloom yet. I was about to say, I think that's Gary Hoke, but I don't know. Look at how tall they are. Super excited. That bud is massive. That is going to be interesting. I've had a sweet surprise come up from behind the salvia hedge, and it's this. Look at this gorgeousness. This is phlox, and it is native. Can you believe it? Look at these flowers, and they smell incredible. It's growing in the ground, and it looks like it has not been like sullied by the armadillos, so I'm very thankful for that. There are several things that are like still making it through here, even though I've got a bunch of pots in here crowding everything out. They're just squeezing through the cracks. The bug garden is growing like out of control. Now, Lindy Lou did tell me that these plants right here that I recently planted, because they look so sad and I was afraid that I had killed them, she said that I can trim them back till about 5 inches, and they'll grow back. I'm sure the roots are doing well. It's just that they got a little bit of transplant shock. But the sundew is looking massive, and then right through here is my other little pitcher plant that started out about 2 inches long, and now it's about 1 foot long, and then below it it's still going. I've got another one of these to plant because they're just super cute and they're doing so well. So that's what's going on here. These petals are from a rose that I bought at Kim's nursery, and it just fell apart. I'm going to put it in a pot. And I also got some cat's whiskers that I need to pot up. I've never had them before, so I'm excited about that. And something neat that I've never seen, trailing ruellia. It's got a purple flower on it, but you can't see it right now. So these 3 things I'm going to pot up soon. Isn't this beautiful? It's called Florida Sunshine Shrub, and it needs I think a slight bit of shade, maybe afternoon shade. So I haven't planted these yet because I think I'm going to plant these in the ground over here by this fence from my neighbor's backyard. And then I got a spice bush, and it needs some shade too. So that's why I haven't planted it yet, but it's going to have to be in and this is for spice bush swallowtail. This is a larval host plant which is very exciting because if I could, I need actually more of these because I want a ton of those butterflies. This is where I've planted some of the things that I got from Kim's nursery. And this first one is super cool because it is arrowwood viburnum and it's got buds on it. And the reason why it's called arrowwood viburnum is because they would use it to make arrows with. It's got straight stems. So arrowwood viburnum. Isn't that going to be cool? And then I got a pineapple guava right here. This thing is going to grow kind of tall. I think it could grow 30 feet if it wanted to, but we're going to keep it trimmed back to maybe about 15 feet. And over here, I love the coloring of this thing. And it can be either called dangleberry or tangleberry. Don't you love the color on that? It's kind of a bluish, grayish, and then look at this new growth is kind of pinkish. I'm really excited about this because I've actually never heard of it, and it's pretty cool. Then over here, I've got possum haw viburnum. And I think these things are going to grow. You know what? I'm going to keep them trimmed back. You know. Of course, no telling what the armadillos are going to do. But I just threw in a bunch of other little things. Some things that looked like they weren't going to make it, like this coral nymph salvia was looking kind of sad in a pot, and so I stuck it over here. It may or may not live. And I've got rudbeckia back here. This one is called I think Herda Green Eyes. I also planted, tucked in right there, a Dutchman's pipevine. But right here I have obedient plant and some salvia that wasn't looking too great, and rue right here. Just different random things, and they'll fill in. But I did, in this spot where you can see these ugly stakes, I planted some dahlias in the ground too. I have two different colors of morning glories growing up the back there, Grandpa Ott and a pink one. But this, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what happens. So far, armadillos have not done anything to it. Oh, and I went by Friends on 59. That's where I've always gotten my rocks, and they are closing. Somebody offered made them an offer they couldn't refuse. And so now they are selling out because they're going to build a hotel there. But I got these rocks for free, so that was really cool. We'll just see how this goes. My friend Carol told me about an app called Picture This, and I've been playing with it ever since she told me about it, and it's super cool because you just take a picture of a plant and it'll tell you what it is. Like this is Black American Nightshade, and it's very poisonous. But I think what happened is a bird must have come over here and pooped it out, and I've got a couple of them growing. They're just too cool. I'm letting them stay for a little while at least. I've got two of them back here in the back with the hydrangeas and the back side of the garden. So Picture This app is super awesome. The pots in the seating area are getting out of control. They are growing like crazy, and some things just aren't doing that well, and some things are doing great. Of course, this Thai basil is phenomenal. I love it. I love growing it from seed. And what I'm going to do with some of these dried seed heads is I will just, let me find one. When it's kind of brown like this, I'll just go in there and I'll just pull it like that, like this, and I'll have all these seeds, and I'll just go wherever I want them to grow and just throw them around. Like I'm going to do that in the front yard right now. I just came out into the front yard to take a look at everything, and I'm so excited to find this little plant right here, because this is horse mint, or like bee balm bergamot. I planted seeds out here and grew this for several years in a row, and then I just thought I'd always have it, and I thought it would keep coming up, and then it didn't. And this is the first one I've had in a couple of years, so that's super exciting. The gravel garden is getting a little fuller every day, and of course the zinnias would be orange. I threw out a bunch of zinnia seeds. I didn't know what they were going to be, and yes, they're orange, but you know, it's okay because orange is allowed in the front yard. I let orange and red live out here as long as they want. I wanted to show you the flowers on the American beautyberry because they're just kind of small and insignificant, but all those flowers are going to be dark purple berries, clusters of them, and it's just so lovely. And right here in the front yard I have, you know, this American beautyberry that just started growing out of nowhere, and right beside it, this is a Confederate rose. I just found out from my app. It told me that's what it is. It's Tuesday, and I'm finally getting around to planting the dahlias, and I wanted to show you they come in a box like this and come in bags like this, and here is one of them. I want to show you how freaky it is. You have to be careful how you pick these up. You don't want to break the necks, but you can see where this was cut right there, and look, there's already some growth, but yeah, it looks pretty hideous and frightening. But it's actually not that scary to plant them. So I'm going to show you what I do. I've kind of set up just this kind of system where I can just plant them out. This isn't where I'm going to keep them, but it's more like a production line. So I'm using this Miracle-Gro potting mix. This is what I use for everything, every pot. Miracle-Gro potting mix. And then I'm going to put a scoop of this in, Osmocote Plus. And I use this with everything that I plant also. So here's a little scoop right there. I've gone ahead and put some stakes in here. Man, I hate stakes. I hate them. They dirty, they low down, they some snitches. Well, that's somebody else, but yeah, ooh, I hate them. But here we go. Putting the scoop in there. That's how much I do, and I'm gonna stir it around. All right, everybody's got a scoop. And I'm just going to go in here and stir it around like that. Just mix it in so good. Dahlias need a lot of fertilizer. They are heavy, heavy feeders. The packages will tell how tall the plants are going to be. This is a Cafe au lait rose, and it says it's going to get up to 48 inches tall. This is the Cafe au lait rose, and they say to cover it with 2 inches of soil. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put both of them in this one pot and put them kind of opposite each other and put the stake in the middle. And I'm going to press down with the dirt so that the stake will hold. And then I'm going to cover them up with 2 inches of soil. I moved them a little closer together, and now I'm going to pour potting soil on them. So I put 2 inches of soil on top of them, and then I folded up the little baggie and put it in the side so I could remember what it is. And then I'm going to mulch it because I didn't mulch them last time, and I was kind of sorry I didn't do it. So I'm going to mulch them with these mini pine bark nuggets that I got from Ace Hardware. They're kind of fine, very finely, just small. So this is it with the mini pine bark nuggets on top, and I have some space in here. Now I read somewhere online, and I don't know if it was legit because I don't think I remember reading anything like this in Erin's book, like Discovering Dahlias, but somebody said leave some space, and when you see your first shoots of dahlias, put more potting soil on top of them. I need to go back and find that. Now that is what I did with my dahlias the other time. So that it would strengthen the stems, but I need to find out if that's still a go, or if that's not, not something that's recommended. So now I'm going to go along and do that with all of these dahlias right here. Yeah, that's a fun one. You can see that is going to be really cool. And I'm also going to plant some in the ground too. Since I've got so many of them, we're going to try that. I've planted some dahlias in the ground, and I've got Gary Hoke here, Bishop of Canterbury here, and then right here I'm about to put in one Linda's baby. Look how dark that soil is. Can you believe that? I mean, we mostly have just brown sand, but this looks like some really good dirt. Look how pretty this labyrinth dahlia is. And it looks like it's got, the eye is already growing. I think that's what that is. So I'm putting that in the ground with a scoop of that Osmocote Plus, and I'm about to gently cover it with dirt. This is that dahlia that I had grown and then it broke off, and I didn't expect anything to come back, and here it is growing back. So I've put a stake in it because you must stake for heaven's sake. And then this main stem right here, I'm going to cut it about to there. Hopefully that will encourage some side shoots. We'll see. This is just kind of like an experiment, an experimental dahlia. All right, the dahlias are in these pots, and they, I'm not going to water them in. They say not to do that. So I'm just going to let them naturally get rainwater. And of course I put stakes in all of them because you must stake for heaven's sake. And here's a little bit of a rough look at a new flower bed that I'm kind of making back here along this fence. It's got native plants in it, the ones that I bought from Kim's, some of them. And I got these free rocks today. So I've got to mulch this, and I've got a few more plants to plant in. And everywhere you see mulch right there, that's where I put those dahlias. So maybe some of them will come up. We will see. I've made a little herringbone pattern with this, these free bricks and rocks that I got. I just came home and I saw a giant swallowtail flitting around in the garden, and I came out here to try to video it, and I saw it lay this egg on my tangerine tree. And I can't promise you that they always lay eggs on tangerine trees, but they seem to favor new growth on my tangerine tree, so I'm going to cut this and take it in and raise it. Wow, look at this. I just found one on another tree. I'm going to take this one in and raise it also. I'm just going to cut the whole little branch off. Do you see that thing in the middle that looks like a white rock? It's actually an egg case. I accidentally dug it up just now. Do you see that spider? That is a wolf spider. And that gray thing that it's holding on to is an egg case. Is that not cool? I need to put a pot right here where it is. So I want it to take its egg case with it somewhere else. So I'm trying to get it to run away. There you go. There you go. See how it's running away with its egg case. Go up into the, yeah, there you go. There you go. Wow, but isn't that cool? So you can see an assassin bug has gotten a eastern black swallowtail caterpillar, and I think he's gonna suck the juice out of it. And as you can see, this other one is just like, being forced to watch that, but I am going to rescue it. Hey buddy, you're safe. Let me take you inside. Some of the monarch butterfly eggs have hatched, and I've got several, well, I've got 2 containers of these, so you can see the tiny monarch butterfly caterpillar there and there, and I think I might have about 10 of these, but I can just find 2 in this container right here. And my chrysalis has yet to emerge, but that will be happening shortly. This chrysalis is one of the ones that I found of a caterpillar that was already grown pretty well, so it could have a parasite in it. This is a giant swallowtail egg, that orange dot right there in the center. I found this earlier this week, and we're just waiting for it to emerge. They like to lay their eggs on new growth, so you can see how pale green these leaves are. They like tender leaves, Now, I had to learn a lesson the hard way. So I got another egg last week, and it did emerge, and so I had a tiny, tiny caterpillar on it. And then I went back to look, and it wasn't there. And it turned out that there had been a spider on the branch that I had brought into the house, and the spider had the caterpillar for a snack. That's something new that it's never occurred to me to check for predators on the actual branches when you're finding your eggs. But so that's something new that I hope I will never do again. So anyway, when I did bring in that branch that had the egg on it, it did have a spider on it too, and I had to remove it. But do you see this? This is that caterpillar that I found last week, and it's a giant swallowtail caterpillar. But isn't he just so interesting? Let's see if I can. Isn't he just really cool looking? Just wow. And we've got a mass of eastern black swallowtail caterpillars in here. I had collected the eggs, and now they've all hatched. And then I found some more caterpillars amongst the fennel. They really do like fennel. It's funny, but fennel just seems to be their favoriteest. And look at all the different colors. Okay, so there's that one. And then this is a big one that I found yesterday evening. I hope it doesn't have a parasite. They have varying patterns of their instars. They will shed their skin about 5 times as they grow. Let's see if I can get in there with these. I just counted, and I have 16 of them. That is really, really exciting. And I've got to remember to put sticks in here when they get a little bit bigger so they can put their chrysalises on the sticks. I have a big stand of lemon balm right here, and the other day I was out in the garden and I was bit on the hand by a yellow fly, and I took some lemon balm leaves and I rubbed it on the bite, and it didn't get itchy and hot. So y'all let me know if y'all have had any kind of experience with lemon balm and what it can do for you. I would love to hear about it. Thank y'all for joining me in my garden today. I hope that your gardens are growing like gangbusters. It's an awesome spring, and everything's just growing out of control. I just love it. Oh, but God bless y'all. I hope y'all have an awesome week and have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Y'all be safe out there, and God bless you. And I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to enjoy these Texas bluebonnets while I have them. And I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all, let's play outside.